Hey everybody, and welcome to another Jamovi tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to talk about a add-on module that you can add to your Jamovi that is also paired with a learning and teaching service, free and open source, and I think that's pretty darn amazing. We're talking about Rosetta Stats. That in just a second. As I do in all of my tutorial videos, I want to make sure that I want everybody to know that I am using the most updated version of the program. So for macOS, that is Jamovi version 2.0.1. For Windows users, this is 2.0.0 still. So don't worry, all the functionality is the same. All right, let's jump into Rosetta. What is Rosetta? Well, let me pull Rosetta into the screen here, right? So if you just type in Rosetta Stats into Google, your first Google search result is this sciops.gitlab.io/Rosetta Stats. These are the Rosetta Stats. So, or you could go to https://rosettastats.com. And so Rosetta Stats is a stats learning, a statistics crestomathy. I don't know what that, crestomathy. I don't know what that means. Software basic. So it's got this whole thing for how to use it. And of course, Jamovi is in here, but you can also use R, and SPSS is also in here. So they've got a ton of functionality here for whichever one you want to use. But we can go to how to do a box plot, right? So how do you do it in Jamovi? How do you do it in R? How do you do it in SPSS? And they have it divided by input and output. It's really, really freaking awesome. And I just discovered it the other day. And, it goes into Cohen's D and how to do that in Cohen's D. And it's all right here. So it's like a little, it's not finished yet, as you can see, but they've got the idea. So, give them a shout out. You can also download the PDF or the EPUB version if you have like a Kindle or another e-reader. So I think that's really, really cool. And I think they're trying a ton to get it filled up. Like I said, Jamovi, intro, example data sets, all of this stuff. It's really, really interesting. And they made a module for Jamovi. How you add the module, as all modules, is you go over to the plus over here all the way at the right, and you click on it, and you can go to Manage Installed or Manage Jamovi Library. It is part of the available if you don't have it installed yet, and you will just scroll down until you get there. We are looking for Rosetta, and this isn't in alphabetical order. Note to the devs, maybe alphabetical order or search. I don't know how big they plan on making, how big they get this, but oh boy, that would be lovely. I think it's toward the bottom here. Yeah, here we go. Rosetta, parallel use of statistic packages in teaching. When teaching stats, can often be desirable to uncouple the content from specific software packages. To ease such efforts, the Rosetta Stats book, and you can click on the link here, allows for comparing analyses in different packages. This module is the companion of the Rosetta Stats book, containing the example datasets used in the book, and eventually aiming to provide functions that produce output that is similar to output from other statistical packages, thereby facilitating software-agnostic teaching of statistics. And they kind of already do that with like 3 major forms here, Jamovi, R, and SPSS. So, they're already on their way. It looks like it's a work in progress, so realize that when you install it, if you are a teacher, but this can also be used for learners. I have it right here. I love their little icon of Rosetta Stone. And you can see here that, unfortunately, all they have so far, and by the description, it's an ongoing process, all they have so far is frequencies. But when you do download it, they did say about the data library. So let's see what we can see. So we have learning stats with Jamovi, which is something different. Yeah, it looks like they haven't added it yet, which is okay. Oh, there it is. Parallel use of statistical packages in teaching. And Party Panel 1.5, a subset of Party Panel 15.1, a determinant study about using highly dosed ecstasy in Dutch nightlife patrons. Wow. The full dataset is available through partypanel.eu. For an explanation of the variables, see Rosetta Sets datasets. All right, let's open it. Sure. So it's going to open the dataset. Here we have, let's open up the variable tab to take a look at our variables. It's a lot of variables. So we've got gender, age, job, how much, XTC, get it? I get it. Dosage, all of that stuff, their beliefs on things. So this is quite a large dataset. And as far as cases, it looks like we have, this looks nested, by the way. So I don't know if we actually have 829 cases. This looks like the full dataset plus nested, or people who didn't answer their age or gender. We'll see what happens. But let's do frequencies, shall we? So let's go to analyses, and let's click on Rosetta, and let's click on frequencies. And it'll bring up, as it is in the exploration module under descriptives, not terribly complicated. So I'm going to grab age, and you can only do one at a time. So it only gives you the frequencies of one variable at a time. But as you can see here, we get the frequencies of all different kinds of ages. We have a number missing. We have a lot of missing ones, 433, because there are 829 total rows. So we have 396 and 433, which isn't great, but we can still gather information from here. I just wanted to highlight them, to be honest with you. I just wanted to highlight them. Our mode is 20. So we've got a number of 20-year-olds taking ecstasy. All right. 19 and 31. Yeah. So it's a pretty heavily skewed to the right. That means younger people. What is this 7-year-old doing taking ecstasy? Wow. The miscode. I'm pretty sure that's got to be a 1, 2, 3 or something in front of that 7. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. The 7-year-old should not be doing ecstasy. I think I'm going to go on the record and say you shouldn't do ecstasy if you're 7 years old. I mean, I'll go on the record and say you probably shouldn't do ecstasy if you're 16, but be that as it may, 7 is where I draw the line. A little miscode there. So if this is your data, frequencies will let you know whether or not in an 829 case or row sample, you might have a miss one. You might have missed it. It's fine. We all make mistakes in data entry. Sometimes it's not 100%. And if this was inputted by hand, and sometimes it is inputted by hand, well, there you go. We've got a 7-year-old taking ecstasy. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough. But anyways, you would, follow, if we find we find frequencies here. Intro, frequency tables are used to find the distribution of categorical, either whether they're dichotomous, multi-level nominal, or ranked ordinal. So you're going to use the dataset PP15, which we did. Okay. And they want us to do current education. Let's pull that over here and let's pull age out. Pull age out. Thank you. Current education category. So it's this one here. Okay. So we have applied, declined to answer, not studying, practical or theoretical jobs. And we have different frequencies. Of course, everyone answered this question. Of course, they didn't want to give their age, maybe because, they were 7-year-old. Ooh, I bet the decline to answer was the 7-year-old. Or maybe not studying. I don't know. But in any case, you have all of these. And we have the way to do it in R, in Jamovi, and all sorts of things. But it's kind of funny, actually, because in this thing, they actually want you to go to descriptives and frequency. So let's do that as comparison. Let's go to descriptives. Let's add the current education categories, and let's get frequency tables. And you should see that this looks very similar. So we have percentage of total, we have percentage of valid cases, because if you don't have valid cases, the base frequency module does not give you that same information, percentage of valid cases, because as you saw when we did age, there were a lot of people that didn't put their age in. And then it gives you instructions on how to do it in R and SPSS. But here, I think, this is the start of something interesting. And that's Rosetta for Jamovi. So both the Rosetta, the service, and Rosetta, the module. If you like this video, consider leaving a like. If you like this content, consider subscribing for more of these kinds of tutorials, as well as other totally random psych stuff and fun stuff like gaming. Thanks for watching.